to Buzzbooster TV.
I'm Shahar.
And I'm Nash.
Yeah, you can see we're speaking lower today.
We are. Are we?
Yes, a little bit at least. Well, you know, one of our viewers said that he likes to watch on TV at night. And his wife is sleeping.
And then, no, this is what he does. He watches it at night on his TV as a prank while his wife is, his fiance is sleeping. So that, what are you looking at me like that?
As a prank?
Yeah, because then she's sleeping and he puts it up because we're loud.
Well, so we don't want to wake her up anymore. So we are trying to get it lower.
Yeah.
So let's get serious.
All right, let's get serious.
So today we are going to talk about the land of opportunity.
The land of opportunities, aka America.
Yes. You know, another viewer, actually a couple, Amy and David from Oregon, they wrote this very nice email.
Very nice email.
Yeah, they watch our show.
It made our day.
Yes, it made our week actually because we were happy. Because Amy also wrote some very amazing suggestions.
Of topics.
You know, topics that we can really get more serious
very
about.
Very good ideas.
Yes. So we're going to, over the weeks, answer all of them. But today, we want to talk about, as a foreigner, how do we see the land of opportunity? How
do we see the land of opportunities?
Yes, we wouldn't trade it for anything.
We wouldn't.
The American dream is possible, and all it takes are a few steps that we are going to talk about it today.
That's right.
But let's first talk a little bit about our story here.
Yes, tell us. You start.
Yeah. So we got to Salt Lake City about 9 years ago. Yeah, we knew one person.
One person, and she moved after 2 weeks.
Yeah, her husband got transferred to California like 2 weeks later. So we were really thinking, okay, we don't know anybody.
What now?
How do we start our business?
Yes.
Right?
Or our life.
Or reinvent ourselves here. And, you know, in Brazil, a very simple and inexpensive way for you to start promoting a business is go print some flyers, go to the street, and
just hand it out to people.
Not very effective, but very common.
But you can do it. But here,
you cannot do that in Salt Lake.
You can't do that. It's against the law.
Yeah, so for a while, we were really like headless chickens.
So what do we do? I mean, we don't have the budget to do billboards and stuff.
Yeah.
Because even if that were a good option.
Yeah, so what you usually do when you're desperate is you can pray and go to a church, and that's what I did. And I was talking to a gentleman that day, and I told him I'm having a hard time starting my business, and I've been an entrepreneur all my life, so I got to start my business. And he said, why don't you go to a networking meeting?
To a what?
Exactly, I had no clue what that was. And he kind of explained that people could stand up and talk about 30 seconds, and I could go online and find what.
But the concept was completely foreign to us. In fact, I wasn't there, but I remember when you came back and you were telling me, and you were super excited. I remember that actually. And you're like, well, there's this meeting, and I didn't understand exactly how it works, but I think you have 30 seconds and you talk about your business, and there are these people there. Yeah. And it was just like completely, we had no idea.
No idea. But we looked online, and after many hours, we found it.
Because he didn't even give us the name right?
No. So next Tuesday, we went to that restaurant.
Red Robin.
And there were a lot of people there.
Yes.
And we freaked out because you might not notice.
It was weird.
It was weird.
I mean, I don't know about you, but in our country, you don't usually invade other people having lunch, you know?
Yes, it was a little weird. And we are also very shy.
Yes.
So dealing with people we don't know is not an easy thing.
Yes.
So very uncomfortable.
But we were welcome.
But we survived.
Yes, we did.
And we kept going. And
for about 6 months.
Yeah, they told us about other networking meetings, and for a while everybody would say, oh, I see you everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody buying from us. It took 6 months for the first sale.
Yeah. And it was just like $50.
Yes.
It wasn't a lot.
But we were celebrating for a week.
We were. Yeah. Very much so.
The fact that, you know, that gentleman bought from us, and it was something simple like a photo restoration. We were playing around because we really needed to get things going, right? He later became our accountant for many years, right? So after him, things start happening. The second one and the third one, and then, you know, fast forward 9 years, we have a very sustainable business.
We have a pretty good business. And, you know, one thing that I'd like to mention is, you said, well, after 6 months, we got our first sale. It was $50, and we were super excited. And we were super excited, number one, because we got that sale finally, but also because we needed the money.
Basically. And I think there was a third reason. I think it was going through the parallel universe. We finally broke the wall of trust.
Yeah, we finally made it.
Yeah, we knew that we were strangers in that environment, and people needed time to get to know and trust us.
Yes.
Right? So it was a great achievement at that day.
It was.
Another thing that happened during those 6 months is that actually it was a huge learning curve for us in difference in cultures.
Yes, huge.
You think that because you speak the language, and it's not that we didn't have any contact with this culture before. National went to an American school all her life.
So I went to school with Americans, but it's different.
It's different.
You think that you think you understand the culture, and you think that just because you speak the language, that it's going to be fine. And when you get here, I mean, it was fine, but there were so many things that we had to learn.
For example, simple things like colors.
Colors.
We like bold colors.
Yeah, like
Americans
bright.
like earth tones.
We're bright and loud.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Yeah,
waking
can't
her
you
up
see?
today. Well,
but so to give an example about that, like I remember at the time I was doing websites, and I had a couple websites that I had done. I think in Brazil. I don't even remember exactly. But this one lady, she mentioned that the website was downright frightful, and to this day I still think those are harsh words. However, it made me realize that there are differences in the culture like that, where colors might not be appropriate, or they just might not be appealing to them, and we had to learn. And now when I think about it, you're right, the website wasn't that pretty.
No.
It wasn't downright frightful, but...
Yeah, it did traumatize the child here, as you can see.
Yeah, of course.
But even colors, even taste, everything can be different.
You have to learn and adapt.
I remember once that we were staying right up the mountain looking at the valley at night, and you start asking about the stars, and I didn't know the name of them. Yep. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, even the stars are different here.
Yep.
Because we're in another continent.
Yep, even the stars in the sky are different. Because that's one of those things, like you think, well, I can, because you always hear in films and stuff. It's like, oh, if you miss me, just look at the moon and know that I'm going to be looking.
But the moon is the same.
Just look at just look at the sky and know that I'll be looking at the sky, whatever. There's always this thing. But then you look up and it's like, yeah, where are my stars? It's like the one thing.
Yeah, so it was tough. I remember I went through a lot of anxiety because, I was over 40, reinventing myself in a strange place, and everything was strange. From everything that people ask me, they always ask us, why Utah?
Yeah,
right?
Always.
Well, why Utah? Because it's a fantastic place.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's peaceful.
This week, it won first place as the first city for people trying to achieve the American dream.
The *1 state, like out of a list of 10, the top 10, this was #1.
Yeah. So it is a fantastic place,
City.
full of technology.
Yes.
Here, full of good companies. So that question.
Yeah, and it's beautiful and it's peaceful,
and safe.
Which is a big factor for us.
And it has been very good for our business for all these years.
Yes.
Even though we are not local anymore, we belong to boards, we belong as ambassadors, and we do business all the time here. We learned a few things in this process that I think you can learn as well.
Tell us.
First of all, if you want to succeed in business and achieve the American dream, you have to be persistent and consistent.
Yes, crucial. So going back to our story, it took us 6 months going to that meeting to get the first sale.
$50.
And it was just $50, but it took us 6 months of consistency. And so now you can look back and think, okay, was it really worth it? But the fact is, you know what? Because in the end, if you count how many lunches you had to go to versus the $50 that you made,
we spent a lot.
You spent a lot more in food. But the fact is that the connections that we made, and as cliche as this sounds, the relationships that we made,
we still have them.
That we still have to this date. We became trusted. We became known, and it was primarily because of that consistency.
Yes. The other thing is because if you're laser focused on your mission, your dream, you're more likely to achieve. There are times in business that you have to reinvent yourselves. And many of us in many industries,
it's a part of business,
during these last few years had to reinvent themselves, right? There was no other way other than reinvention. And that can actually be even healthy.
It can be a good
in a business. So you have to develop a meter where you really know when to quit. Seth Godin talks about it, the book, The Dip, and you should read that because it's very good.
Knowing when to quit and when to stick.
Because when you get to a dip, you can go full force and go over it, or sometimes it's just better to stop. Right? So you have to develop that, but it's never too soon. It's never before you have explored the options that you have to make that success.
And I see a lot of that, where business owners, they give up too quickly.
Oh boy.
They don't let it simmer enough.
They do one video, put on YouTube, and say that thing doesn't
work.
That
didn't work. Or
they put 2 posts on Facebook and say, "Oh, my audience is not
yeah,
there."
or they'll send out one time a direct mail piece and to 200 people, and then they say, "Oh, no, it doesn't work."
In return. So
that's not enough.
Yeah, you have to really learn how to track what's bringing back and what's not, but understand that especially at the beginning, there is a process that you have to go through and try different ways of achieving that final dream. And the last thing is really to understand that today, it doesn't matter in which niche you are, and I hope you are in one, you are talking to people of different cultures, because we are all doing business.
It's a global economy.
In a global economy. So I need to list the different types of values that people have. Okay, because some are more materialistic, some are less. So it's important when I'm writing the copy on a website or on a flyer to really talk a little bit about, our place is a luxury vacation home, and you're going to feel you're the talk of the town, and your neighbor will envy you. At the same time that you say that the time that you're going to spend with your family, you're going to be creating a tradition, memories that will last forever, and actually a legacy for the next generations. So you have to talk, because different cultures respond differently to those values.
That is very true. To give an example, even with us, in our experience, was that here in the U.S., people talk about money a lot more than they do, for instance, in Brazil.
Which is not a topic that you bring up.
It's a touchy subject in Brazil.
You're never going to talk to somebody about how much you're making.
You'll never tell them how much
money you made on a launch and things like that.
And here, a lot of it you do. That's exactly it. People want to know how much it made. Yeah. And they want to see the car that you're driving and the house that you're living in. And so for us, this was a huge learning curve.
Exactly.
And understanding that difference, exactly because of that. Because from the perspective of someone who lives in Brazil, if you say that, it's kind of...
It's not nice.
It's not nice, exactly.
So you have to tackle both sides when you're selling, okay? So is this the land of opportunity? Yes, it is. It still is. Even with all the recession, all the bad time, you live in a country of buyers where people trust other people. Even with these scandals we had in the last few years with big companies, these people trust. And that's fantastic for business.
Yes.
Okay. When we do the same exact kind of sale to another country, sometimes we have to put a lot more effort, provide a lot more proof of what we are able to do, because the trust level is so low.
I do agree, and I'd like to share one more example about this being the land of opportunity, because I think perhaps the biggest impact that it had in my life, and it was things that I learned. So I learned so much here, right? And
the way you think about business, sort of.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Are you hearing my thoughts? So that's exactly one of the biggest things for me was in Brazil, for instance. It's a culture that it's like you're taught not to trust, or there's always this little thing. And here, people, you're taught. For some reason, I can't talk. But you're taught to go out and do it, and to take action, and to trust, and to believe in yourself. And so those things for me were huge learning curves, because it allowed me to go out and do it.
Yes, the opportunity is still here. No matter how the economy is, you might need some reinvention on your side, but the fact is, it's an amazing place for business. And you have to be persistent and be consistent in what you're doing until you achieve success, because if you do that, you will achieve success. Okay, so don't focus on things that, offer magic and software is a lot, because it's the approach, it's how you talk to people that will end up bringing you money, and not if you're using this network or that software. That's secondary. It's important too, but it's secondary. Okay, talked a lot. I think we did okay. We could talk more. Okay, see you next time.
See you next time.
Hey, don't forget to share.
See, you're so in a hurry to end the show.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Amy and David.
Thank you,
I know
Amy.
you took time from your day to write that email.
We were so happy when you wrote us. I mean, it really did make our day.
Yes.
We have stats and numbers and stuff to see that people are downloading and watching the show. But honestly, there's always this insecurity of, are people really watching the show?
Yes, it's really
and so
good.
when we get an email like that, it really, really makes us happy.
So everybody, do interact with us, send emails, leave comments, thumbs up, share with your friends, send some email and share.
Like it.
I know, well, this video was important for me, and I think it can make a difference in the life of other entrepreneurs. So share, send that as an email to other people.
Yes.
If you're watching on Roku, don't forget to give some stars for us.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth again.
Yeah.
If you're watching on Roku, do rate it, because it helps us. You have no idea how much it helps the channel to be found. So
Yes. Okay, so now,
see you next time.
see ya.